From clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood now at 5 a.m.
Breaking right now, a frantic search in Baltimore. Parts of a busy bridge collapsed after being hit by a large ship. The rush to find survivors still in the water.
Plus, a big decision today over thousands of dollars in debt left behind the One Pulse Foundation, what commissioners will discuss today and how it could impact taxpayers.
And another state-sponsored flight from Haiti arrives in Central Florida. The more than a dozen Americans now back on U.S. soil after waiting for days to evacuate. Good morning on your Tuesday. It is 5 a.m. I'm Crystal Moyer.
And I'm Stephen Montiero. Bridget has the day off. I'll have a look at those roads here in just a few. But first, let's check with your morning meteorologist, Candace Campos.
Yes,
good morning,
good
ma'am.
morning.
A bit warmer today?
Yeah, mild today. To start off, pretty much 60s area-wide. Then we're going to warm up. Yesterday we hit 80. Today it's up to about 85. So we're going to continue to increase those temperatures just a bit all ahead of our next front. That will cool us down once again as we head into your weekend. All right, let's look at those temperatures. Again, area-wide, we're in the 60s or even the 70s. We have warmed up by a few degrees there along the Space Coast. 71 in Cape Canaveral, same through Cocoa Beach. Good morning to you guys in Melbourne. Across southern Brevard County, your current temperature still sits about 70, but areas all inland will be staying in the 60s, between 61 and about 67 degrees. Now the breeze as of right now, it's not too bad, ranging between 5 to 10 miles per hour, but we will once again start to see those winds kind of crank up throughout the afternoon out of the southeast between about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now gust upwards about 20 to 25, especially along our coastline. We will see a little dip in the winds before increasing all ahead of our next cold front. Now this cold front right now is still digging across the Mississippi Valley. You could see plenty of rain and storms associated with it, even some snow, some spring snow across the north, but we are going to continue to tap into some of this moisture. We'll have more of the timing of that coming up in just a few minutes. Now let's check on your roadways. Richard Prestige, he's got your pinpoint traffic on this Tuesday.
On a Tuesday. All right, I thought we were going to start this show with crazy traffic, but they are in the process of picking up a lot of things. Westbound I-4 out here at 535. Routine construction. I issued you that traffic alert every night, so just make sure you're cautious about that. This is what I was really worried about. Westbound I-4 was closed right here at Sand Lake. They are in the process of picking up this construction, and they are requiring all traffic to go towards Sand Lake, but they're in the middle of picking this up as we speak, but you're still going to run into some heavy stuff. So westbound I-4 approaching the Universal Kirkman area. Everyone's still being detoured there. This is for overnight construction. Please be careful. We're probably going to see this again tomorrow, but just wait a few minutes and I think it's going to be open.
Breaking news alert.
A disturbing scene in Baltimore. A major bridge partially collapses after being hit by a large ship. Now the rush is on to find any survivors still in the water. The scene unfolding just a few hours ago.
Yeah, now officials say several vehicles on that bridge fell into the water when the boat hit. Then that boat caught fire. News 6's Ezzy Castro is following the very latest on this breaking news story. Ezzy, any word on any injuries?
Well, Steve, we are waiting to get more answers about that, but fire officials are calling this a mass casualty event, and it's this chilling video that many are waking up to this morning after a large vessel crashed into the bridge. Then moments later, a portion of it fell in the water. Now, the collapse was reported right around 1:30 this morning. Now, this is the Francis Scott Key Bridge, also known as the I-695 Key Bridge in Baltimore, a very busy area in the city, so this will impact thousands of drivers. And right now, it's not clear how many people are hurt, but video shows several cars falling into the water. We do know multiple agencies are working this, including the Maryland Transportation Authority and the U.S. Coast Guard. And Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott is also on scene and is set to hold a press conference at any moment. I'll be staying on top of this story and bring you those updates throughout the morning. Crystal and Steve.
Ezzy, thanks. Just horrible to watch that video.
Yeah, pretty rough.
Oh, well, another group of Floridians once trapped in the crisis in Haiti are back home after landing at Orlando International Airport last night.
Officials say the flight landed just after 8, carrying more than a dozen people from Miami-Dade County. Now, this is the third state-coordinated emergency flight carrying Americans from Haiti who couldn't get out on their own due to the rising political violence.
Again, they said there was violence all around them. There was streets that were blocked. There were shootings that were happening. But again, these are from the heart of Port-au-Prince.
Now, officials say so far 62 Americans have been flown out of Haiti on these state-sponsored flights. They say they will continue on a daily basis until everyone who wants to leave can.
New fallout surrounding the One Pulse Foundation. The county now on the hook for more than $50,000 in back property taxes left unpaid by the foundation. It all stems from a warehouse on West Cayley Street that was supposed to be turned into a museum for the victims of the Pulse nightclub shooting. Now it seems you, the taxpayers, may have to foot the bill. News 6's Mark Lehman joins us live in Orlando. And Mark, the commissioners say that the money is due soon.
Yeah, the county is actually racing against a deadline to pay this bill. On April 1st, late fees on this property start piling up. According to the tax collector, this bill is nearly $52,000, and staff is recommending it's paid before next week. Now, the mayor also said the city has no plans of building a museum, so it's unclear what the future of this property will be. County commissioners will be meeting to vote on the tax bill during their meeting at 9 this morning. For now, reporting live in Orlando, Mark Lehman, getting results, News 6.
Lotto fever getting a bit hotter. The Powerball jackpot has rolled over once again. No one matched all the numbers in the Powerball in last night's drawing. What does that mean? That means Wednesday's jackpot now up to a whopping $865 million. I'm sweating just thinking about it. However, check your tickets because Lotto officials say $1 million ticket was sold at a 7-Eleven in Ocoee.
Bye.
But if you can't wait until Wednesday to test your luck, tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is up to $1.1 billion. It comes after no one has claimed the top prize since December. And don't forget, the only place to see the drawing live is right here on WKMG right before the news at 11. Well, turning back to weather, Candace, people in the other parts of the country would probably pay big bucks to have our type of forecast today.
Today, tomorrow, even into the weekend, we're going to have a fantastic looking outlook across Central Florida. Right now, if you are heading out the door, some areas don't even need a light jacket. We're pretty much in the 60s area-wide, with the exception of you guys there along the Space Coast. 71 is our current temperature along the there along the Cape. 71 as well in Cocoa Beach. We're at 67 in Kissimmee and Wildwood. Right now, you're holding steady at about 59 degrees. Now let's check on your roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
Next time code enforcement tells me I can't water my lawn, I'm going to be like, listen, meteorologist Candace Campos said,
as long as it's on the right day.
Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I'm allowed to.
No.
All right, please don't take my advice. East and westbound along I-4, I need your advice here. Westbound there, construction, just be cautious. All your lanes are back open. And trying to see here. Looks like our lanes are back open. Westbound I-4 there at Sand Lake. But keep in mind, this is a very active construction zone. If you're exiting out in this area, don't pay any attention to the purple there. Our lanes are open in the westbound direction. It was closed overnight, and I think we're going to see that again. Further east along 528 towards the airport, looking pretty nice.
Well, the time is now 5:11 on your Tuesday, and it's a go-to staple in nearly every kitchen. But how good are your paper towels?
This is an interesting one. Coming up, Consumer Reports puts the top brands to the test. Which ones do the job and which ones should be tossed?
But first, former President Trump heading to trial sooner than he wanted. Up next, the ruling by a New York judge that could put him on the witness stand within a matter of days.
This portion of the news is sponsored by AutoNation.
WKMG hits the road live, and we're coming to Sanford.
Join News 6 April 10th at Hollerbox German Restaurant. Live with Bridget Ellison, Crystal Moyer. Weather with meteorologist Candace Campos and Central Florida's only traffic safety expert, Trooper Steve. This is News 6 Mornings, getting results.
If you're just now joining us, we are following breaking news out of Baltimore. That is where a portion of the Francis Scott Key Bridge has collapsed after being hit by a large ship. You're watching it here with the video showing that crash and then the collapse of the bridge. At this point, there are no word on any injuries, but emergency crews are on the scene looking for at least 7 people who may be in the water. We are continuing to follow the latest developments, and we'll bring you any updates throughout the show.
Now, big developments surrounding former President Donald Trump's legal battles in New York. A judge has set a trial date in his criminal trial involving alleged hush money payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels.
When it comes to cleaning spills and household messes, many of us grab a paper towel, right? But which brands are the best? Consumer Reports spent weeks putting 6 popular brands to the test and reveals which ones come out on top in today's Insider. All of the paper towels in Consumer Reports tests could be reused after light use, but something to remember, paper towels, they're not recyclable. That's why for routine cleaning, Consumer Reports recommends reusable paper towels and microfiber cloths that you could wash and reuse. I posted the paper towel test results on clickorlando.com/insider. None of those were Trooper Steve's favorite.
No, not at all. I'm not plugging them, so all right.
Well, North Carolina man is putting his decades-long hobby to good use by helping to bring smiles to others.
I'm so behind this. Take a look. Walter Cranford started collecting Pez dispensers 30 years ago. I have so many of these. Over the decades, he's bought thousands and proudly displays them inside his antique store. But now he says instead of keeping all of them, he's helping the next generation fall in love with the gadgets.
If I see a kid walking up the street with a mom, I say, come in here and get a free Pez dispenser.
All right, so Cranford says his Pez craze began when he bought a $4 Pinocchio one and later found out it was worth $150.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
And if you guys know what a Pez machine is, it's so small right there on your screen.
Machine.
Listen, it's a piece of, it's a bunch of plastics put together and
Well, you know what? These days you get candy and it's like the crinkle of the plastic.
Yeah.
This thing was quiet and it was cool because you could get different ones. It pop a little Pez out.
Yeah.
I love Pez candy.
They taste like chalk.
What?
Don't they?
I love Pez.
You've been voted off the island.
Okay, it's 5:19. My kids are not awake at this hour. But every holiday they get Pez and then secretly they disappear.
Really?
Oh.
Okay.
If you know my kids,
I need to know more about this later. But how are we looking today?
You know what? We're dispensing some pretty good looking weather. How about that?
See what you did there? See what you did?
Although this weather forecast won't taste like chalk. Temperatures out the door at this hour. Let me go back here. We're in the 60s, pretty much area-wide. 67 in Sanford. Up and down the coast, we're seeing in the low 70s. But for our I-4 corridor, we're about 67 degrees from Sanford down through Kissimmee. 62 in Ocala, 64 right now in Leesburg. So let's look at the winds throughout the day. We're going to continue to see those winds crank up out of the east-southeast. So yesterday they were straight off the east. Today it's more southerly, and that's going to start bringing in a little more heat. Highs yesterday hit about 80. Today we're going to add another 5 degrees to those temperatures. And again, the winds are really going to continue to kick up, especially along our coast. We'll have sustained winds between 15 to 20, gusting upwards about 20 to 25. So because of that, this is your quick looking beach forecast. Temperatures will be in the mid 70s today. Water temperature still too cold for me, 66 degrees. The breeze out of the southeast. So our surf will still be between about 4 to 6, still about 5 to 7 though throughout the afternoon. Rip current risks will stay high. We also do have a high surf advisory and a small craft advisory for boaters this afternoon. But now let's check on your hour-by-hour forecast for your Tuesday.
Your weather forecast is sponsored by Fairwinds.
All right, temperatures for today will be back into the mid 80s. Again, our forecast high between about 4 or 5 o'clock. Have you noticed our daytime high is pushed back about an hour just because of daylight saving? 85 will be your high by about 5 p.m. The breeze out of the southeast, again, between 10 to 15 miles per hour. Speaking of Easter, here's your look for Sunday. Temperatures for sunrise masses will be in the low 60s. Mix of sun and clouds, but it will be a warmer afternoon. And as a result, here their full 7-day forecast. Rain chances again on Thursday increasing up to about a 40%. As of now, it looks like the coolest day will be Friday with highs staying in the mid 70s. Now let's check on those roadways at Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
You know, you can find any tasting chalk online. Crystal over here tonight just enjoying the Pez adventures online. I-4 right now, we're looking good in the westbound direction. Just please, it's an active construction zone at the 69-mile marker. It puts us close to 535. So all your lanes are now back open eastbound and westbound along I-4 in the Sand Lake area, but a lot of construction out there. So I just need you to be super cautious. You can see the purple has gone away. Thanks, my map, for updating. I appreciate you. 436 looking good as you make way towards 417, both north and south sides.
The time is now 5:22 on your Tuesday. A big case before the U.S. Supreme Court that could have major implications on abortion access.
Yeah, at the bottom of the hour, what the justices will decide when it comes to a common medication used to end pregnancies.
But first, a new use for a popular cholesterol-lowering drug. Coming up, new statins can be used, how statins can be used to help improve your smile.
Truthfully, from the bottom of my heart, yes, I got huge results. We need to change that banner, getting huge results.
Central Florida, we just want to say thank you for making News 6 your source for local news, weather, and traffic.
Thank you for waking up with us and making News 6 mornings #1.
Thank you for making News 6 at noon your #1 noon newscast.
And thank you for ending your day with us, making News 6 at 11 p.m. the #1 late newscast in Central Florida.
Ahead at News 6 Mornings, a battle over taxes in Orange County.
What leaders are expected to discuss today after getting hit with a $50,000 property tax bill left behind by the One Pulse Foundation.
And we're staying on top of some serious breaking news right now in Baltimore. A major bridge collapses after being hit by a large ship. The whole thing caught on camera. The latest developments coming up next. You're watching News 6 Mornings, getting results for Ocala, Oviedo, and all of Central Florida.
No matter what's happening where you live, trust Sky 6 to get you the bigger picture. Exclusively sponsored by attorney Dan Newland. Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results.
Major breaking news, a large bridge in Baltimore collapses after being hit by a ship, sending at least some cars crashing into the water below. A live update on the latest in moments.
Plus, a debate over an abortion pill headed to the Supreme Court in just hours. The group looking to roll back some recent changes that make the drug easier to get.
And a bill banning millions of minors in Florida from social media signed by the governor. Why supporters say it's needed and the legal challenges that are likely ahead. Good morning, Central Florida. I'm Stephen Montiero.
And I'm Crystal Moyer. Bridget has the day off. We'll get over to your pinpoint weather and traffic in moments, but we want to start with that breaking news out of Baltimore. The video just incredible to watch. Take a look. A bridge that includes a stretch of Interstate 695 just collapses after being struck by a large cargo ship there. This happened on the Francis Scott Key Bridge on the southeast side of the city over the Patapsco River. Ezzy Castro has been following the latest developments. And Ezzy, what do we know at this point?
Well, Crystal, we know an extensive search and rescue is underway right now, and this video shows the moment of impact when that large ship slammed right into the bridge. Now, based off of that video, several cars were on the bridge when it collapsed into the water. All of this happened right around 1:30 this morning, so just a few hours ago. And this is a very well-known bridge in the Baltimore area. Now, it's a 1.6-mile bridge known as the Francis Scott Key Bridge, which was built in the late 70s. And to give you an idea of just how busy it gets, thousands of drivers use it to commute every single day. So a lot of people are waking up to this devastating news. Now, of course, there are still a lot of questions about what went wrong, but the priority right now is to look for survivors. We are waiting to get an update from officials. As soon as we learn more, we will let you know. Crystal and Steve.
We'll keep checking back in with you, Ezzy. Thank you. We want to turn now to your weather. One more dry day, before some of those rain chances return.
That's right. Let's get over with meteorologist Candace Campos for our check with our pinpoint forecast. Ma'am.
Yes, and taking a live look outside over the airport. Overall, a nice start brought to you by Light Orlando, delivering hope. We're at 67 degrees right now. A little bit of cloud cover overhead, but nothing too crazy. The breeze right now out of the east-southeast at about 8 miles per hour. Across our inland areas throughout Metro Orlando, for instance, we're about 67 degrees up into Seminole County. Throughout Sanford at 67, Apopka also holding at 67, and Leesburg at 64 degrees. So overall, just a mild start, even a little warmer along our coastline, and that's all thanks to that breeze that will continue to whip up throughout the day. With that breeze in place, boating forecast not ideal. We do have a small craft advisory. Seas still expected to be about 4 to 6 feet. Conditions have improved, and they will improve a little more as we head into tomorrow. We'll have more details on what you can expect as we are watching for the approach of another cold front this week coming up in just a little bit. Now let's check on your roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
Thank you, Candace. Right now downtown, you're looking pretty good, east and westbound, pretty much whatever road you're on. No major issues here. But when we start to slide a little towards that Sand Lake area, I need you to be real careful, please. This is an active construction zone all day, all the time. And they even put a DOT camera underneath there for us. I appreciate Department of Transportation for this. So you can see a lot of crews down there. This is the diverging diamond there. So obviously we used to see the eastbound traffic right there. That's no more. So you just need to be careful when you're down there. Troopers are staged underneath there to keep you aware. Boggy Creek, good morning to you. Buenaventura, looking good. New from overnight, a suspect in the murders of a mother and her 1-year-old daughter in Orange County is now locked up more than 2 years after the crime. Now, this is the mugshot of Dejon Griffiths. Following his arrest over the weekend up in New Jersey, Griffiths had been on the run since 2021. That's when deputies say he shot 20-year-old Masania Malcolm, whose body was found in a car on Lake Eleanor Drive. Her daughter, Jordania, was also found dead, possibly from heat exposure. Griffiths was also wanted for attempted murder of the little girl's father. So far, deputies haven't commented on the arrest or said when he could be brought back to face charges. All right, so the One Pulse Foundation is no more after it formally dissolved at the end of last year, but not before leaving behind over $50,000 in unpaid taxes. And this morning we could find out if the rest of Orange County taxpayers will be on the hook to pay this bill. This isn't about the nightclub. Instead, another building on the West Cayley Street the foundation initially hoped would be the site of the museum. Mark Lehman is there live this morning. And Mark, we know that the museum, much like the permanent memorial, never happened.
Yeah, and that's despite the foundation raising millions in donations for those projects. The most ambitious was the museum that was supposed to be built at this site, and when the county was handed back the property, it came with this pretty large tax bill.
Now, there are major questions this morning surrounding entertainment mogul Sean Diddy Combs.
Yeah, it comes after simultaneous raids at 2 of his homes, including one in Florida. Homeland Security agents carried out those searches yesterday in Miami and Los Angeles. Sources tell CBS News it's part of a possible sex trafficking investigation by federal agents. For the past few months, Diddy has been embroiled in numerous scandals, including allegations of sexual misconduct in 5 different civil suits. He has denied all of those allegations against him. Well, Candace, hopefully with some of that good weather today, those kids will get off their cell phones, maybe play outside for a little bit.
I know. It's so nice. It's funny because my kids didn't want to play outside for a little bit, and that's because every time they came in, they turned yellow from all the pollen. So I was like, okay, during spring break, I'll clean the back patio. So now they're outside all the time. And yes, it's going to be another fantastic afternoon. It's going to be a little warmer than where we should be for this time of the year, but still feeling very comfortable out there. We also have that nice breeze in place, which also increases the pollen numbers. But you know what? One or the other. You either get rain or get pollen this time of the year. All right, temperatures out the door right now. It's mild all across central Florida. We're in the low 70s along our coastline, kind of the mid to low 60s further inland. As of right now, we're tracking one spot in the 50s, and that's you guys in Wildwood at 59, Ocala at 62, and Kissimmee at 67. Now, throughout the day, highs yesterday hit about 80. We're going to be about 85 to 86 across our inland zones. Still into the upper 70s to near about 80 there along our coast. But there's changes coming. We're watching this approach of our next cold front that is packing quite a punch across the midsection of the U.S. And that's also going to start cooling us down, but it also comes with a chance of rain. Helps with the pollen. We'll have more details on that change coming up in just a little bit. Now let's check on your roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
Thank you, Candace. I got to give a shout out to the people you can't see. Our camera operator just scooted the camera over here so I could actually see what's going on. I appreciate you, brother. I-4 at Cayley looking still pretty decent this morning. No crashes currently to report with you guys, but there is heavy construction along Sand Lake underneath I-4. You see the blue lights? It's not there for fun. These guys are there to make sure that you're paying attention to the diverging diamond. We have only one incident from there a few weeks ago. Things looking pretty good. Boggy Creek, good morning to you, and St. Cloud, good morning. Yesterday on a patrol, I got to spend the day with Corporal Savager with the Castleberry Police Department. He's their community relations officer now there. Newly appointed, good friend of mine there, doing great things. Head over to clickorlando.com and check that out. Today, I'm driving down to St. Cloud, and it's a Trooper Steve on patrol, but rocking Women's History Month. So I'm going to be joined by 2 command officers with the St. Cloud Police Department at 10 a.m. at clickorlando.com.
Love it. Looking forward to it. We'll stay with us in just minutes. Steve will answer one of your questions.
Yeah, today we're talking about passing, and you're going to want to see this one.
Plus, Disney's plans for a huge new affordable housing project. The pitch the company is set to make to local leaders in just hours, and why not everyone is on board with the idea.
Trooper Steve on Patrol is sponsored by Gibson Truck World. We are the king of trucks. Here's what's happening on clickorlando.com. La Nina is coming. See why this hurricane season will be very different. Is it legal to wear AirPods or Bluetooth headsets while driving? Trooper Steve navigates Florida traffic laws. Test your knowledge and answer the News 6 Insider Trivia question of the week. Is dining out costing you too much? Get 5 tips on how to help you save money. Plus, is Florida's legendary 18-foot alligator still roaming the state? All this and more at clickorlando.com. Live with Bridget Ellison, Crystal Moyer. Weather with meteorologist Candace Campos and Central Florida's only traffic safety expert, Trooper Steve. This is News 6 Mornings, getting results.
If you're just now joining us, we continue to follow major breaking news from Baltimore, where a bridge, as you can see there, has collapsed after being hit by a cargo ship. The bridge is part of Interstate 695 and an outer crossing of Baltimore Harbor. Several people did reportedly end up in the water below, and a rescue effort is underway right now. We will let you know as soon as we get any updates. Steve?
Now, it's not unusual for a dog to dig when they go out in the backyard.
But it's what the dog unearthed in Jacksonville that had the owner calling in the bomb squad. Steve, that's because the dog dug up a piece of an unexploded military ordnance. Its owner first got curious after seeing something sticking out of the ground there. So he actually started pulling it out when he realized what it was. The bomb squad then came in and evacuated neighbors before removing the device.
Okay. Did you all see that? That wasn't Derek, our prompter operator's laughing because he knows what kind of ordnance that was. That's just not a grenade, guys. That's like,
wow.
That's heavy stuff.
That's a big boy.
What a lucky homeowner, though.
Such a good boy.
Yeah. Wow. Give that dog a bone, you know? Worked really hard.
Life-saving award right there.
Yeah. That's crazy. All right, let's talk about your weather forecast across Central Florida. Listen, it's going to be kind of nice day today. We're going to be back into the mid-80s. Now, we are looking at rain chances returning into the forecast. With that being said, there's a little bit of a spread. Some models bring the rain in a little earlier, kind of rock some thunderstorms throughout Wednesday. We're going to side, at least for now, with some of that rain coming in a little later on in the day on Wednesday and into your Thursday morning. That's all thanks to a cold front that is going to be making its way into Central Florida. After the rain comes through, it's going to be much cooler. Temperatures will be back into the mid-70s on Friday, and then we'll moderate back to a seasonal trend as we head into your Easter weekend. Looking at your temperatures out the door, it is a mild start. We're pretty much in the 60s area-wide, low 70s even along our coastline. But 71 from Cape Canaveral through Cocoa Beach, 64 in Leesburg, and Ocala right now holding at about 62. That as a result here, the full 7-day forecast. Rain chances increasing up to 40%, and as of now, the weekend looking dry. Now let's check on your roadways with Trooper Steve.
Thank you, Candace. Roadways are doing pretty good on, it's Tuesday, right? It's Tuesday. Still looking good out there. Listen,
Still
guys,
Tuesday.
I'm doing 16 things at once. So I-4 at the 81, good. Then Sand Lake, the troopers have left underneath there, but they'll be out during the daytime. Things are moving east and westbound. St. Cloud Turnpike looking good. Pine Tree, the Manor area. If you're not familiar with the Manor, hey, I guess you don't live there. So a little further south, things look good. We take a zoom out to check out the eastern portions there of 192. As you make your way through the Holopaw area, maybe into West Melbourne, Brevard County, you guys are also looking real nice today along I-95, but it is 5:52 in the morning. Just keep it nice and smooth.
Well, a possible new tool in the fight against gum disease.
Ahead at 6, the popular type of drug experts believe could help, even though it's approved for something totally different.
But first, we continue to follow breaking news after a large bridge collapses in Baltimore. An update next as we check our big stories.
Trooper Steve on Patrol is sponsored by Gibson Truck World. We are the king of trucks.
WKMG hits the road live.
And we're coming to Sanford.
Join News 6 April 10th at Hollerbox German Restaurant.
5:56. Let's check our big stories in breaking right now. We've been talking about this all morning. Rescuers searching for at least 7 people after the collapse of a bridge in Baltimore. You can see the video right there. The Francis Scott Key Bridge, which carries Interstate 695, snapped after being struck by a cargo ship. Hezi Castro has been monitoring the developments. She'll have another live update ahead at 6.
And the U.S. Supreme Court is set to hear arguments today over the abortion drug mifepristone. A group is suing, challenging recent decisions by the FDA to make the drug easier to get.
And Orange County commissioners set to vote today on whether taxpayers will have to foot the $51,000 unpaid property tax bill from the One Pulse Foundation. It's for a building the group had bought to build a museum, but the project never happened. A local city hit by a cyber attack.
Ahead at 6, where it happened and the impact it's having on some services. And the Powerball jackpot rolls over again, but the news isn't all bad. What we know about a $1 million winner sold right here in Central Florida. Was it me?
Get the latest news, weather, entertainment, sports, and more from the News 6 Plus streaming app. Download today.